Hello, this is Carlos from the Church of Christ channel. Please subscribe. Today we'll be ending our Speaking in Tongues series, and we're going to be talking about what is speaking an unknown tongue. And as we read this, you'll have better understanding of what this really means, because I think a lot of people kind of get this confused. If we look at 1 Corinthians 14:2, the Bible says, "For anyone who speaks in a tongue does not speak to people, but to God. Indeed, no one understands them. They utter mysteries by the Spirit." And I also want everyone to pay attention to the context that's given here, okay? Paul was talking about love and more than anything, and we talked about in the past video where the tongues was going to cease but love was going to remain. All right, now let's look at this, and this is the Rsb Study Bible. And as you see, when I underline under 13 verses 13, you see that the greatest of faith, hope, and charity is charity. And he talks about that in 1 Corinthians 14:1, follow after charity. In 1 Corinthians 14:2, we see where the unknown tongue is underlined, and there's a number there. And the same thing occurs in the Greek keyword study Bible, where we see that the unknown tongue has a number by it. And it's both 1100, and that's a Strong's number for the lexicon. So in order to understand this, we need to look it up and see what the definition of the unknown tongue is. Now, if you go to the lexicon, we go and see the word glossa again, okay? Now, it refers to known and understandable languages, but not to an unknown tongue, as practiced in Corinth. But even when utilizing these, one must make sure he is understood, all right, or he'll be known as a maniac. So, and we see this also here within the Greek lexicon by Zodis, where he talks about the unknown tongue was language was spoken by Paul in Corinth, but not immediately understood by hearers. So basically what this is that the unknown tongue really wasn't really a tongue at all. And what Paul was talking about within this context, he was saying that, first of all, it wasn't done out of love, okay? And not only that, it's no good in speaking something that no one understands, because you're supposed to be edifying the body, okay? And so in the Africa Study Bible, it says some people in the Corinth church used the gift of tongues and prophecy without regard to orderliness and decency in the church. Instead of seeking to bless others, their motivation seemed to be glorifying themselves. And as we talked about that previously, that's what it was. So they were supposed to be practicing love. And it's no use in speaking a language if no one understands it and no one can benefit from it. And so speaking a tongue to God is really useless, because God gave us tongues to speak to other people, and in particular, non-believers.